What's up guys, this is Bo. Yeah, I know it's a little different than things I normally do on the channel, but get over it. This is about how to do a raised garden bed for under $100. This is not just a small one. This is 3 feet by 6 feet long. And you can make this all out of stuff pretty easily gotten at like the Home Depot. I'm just gonna talk for a moment about what this is and how I built it. This is built out of what are known as redwood fencing slats. They're about, this one was about 5 5/8. This one was about 8 5/8. Between them, 13, 14 inches tall. Wow, what the hell? Okay. And also I got one 2x4 that was also made of redwood. Now, the reason you do redwood, at least here in San Francisco, you have access to redwood, is it is a wood that won't rot. But just in case, I went ahead and stained the whole thing in a weather-resistant polyurethane, an oil one, so it should really, really help to keep the UV rays from totally destroying it. Now, why would I do this 3 feet by 6 feet, you have to ask? Because these fencing post rails are 6 feet long, so if you cut 1 in half, then you have a 3 foot. So if this is $2 and some cents, and this is about maybe $4, I only need to buy 3 of these. I only need to buy 3 of these, and you have all of your fence pieces. As far as the corner pieces here, this is easy. This is just taking a 2x4, cutting it down to about 18 inches, because I wanted to have a little bit sticking at the bottom here, because this is what's going to be used to kind of stick it into the ground and hold this. Now, you don't have to go ahead and point them like I did and make these cool little this, but it does help to center it and make sure it doesn't move, see? So that was just a really easy, about maybe 18-degree angle, just done. I didn't make a video on how to build one of these things just because I didn't think about it at the time, but if you guys really enjoy these and want to see more, I will do a whole series of videos of how to make one of these. And I think this thing cost me maybe $30, maybe. Remember, the money you're going to put into your raised bed is going to be in the soil, which we'll cover when we get there. But first, let's get this thing prepped and get something in the ground. All right, one consideration we need to do is figure out where we want this. Now, I could take this and jam it up against the wall. The only problem is I don't want to really mess with this because it's chain linked, and I don't really like my plants jumping in on that, so I'll just build trellises as I need them. So what I'm trying to do is maybe put it, let's just figure this out. Let's put it somewhere where there's a good amount of light. It's fairly level, because I mean we're going to have to level on the bottom anyway just a little bit, and we're going to bang this into the ground to stake it. But first we got to prep the ground. So the way I like to do it, take your rake of choice and just outline kind of where it'll be, because this is where we're going to clear out. Yeah, great. Then we just got to get this out of the way for just a moment. And then let's get this all figured out, and I'll be right back with you. So as we're going to be, let's put this thing back right in the place where we just cleared out. Relatively cleared out. I mean, you're not looking for making some kind of art piece. You're just looking to make sure there's at least enough of the weeds are out of there. So here we go. You can do the shortest shell as long as you kind of know where the center point is. And there we go. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to be too anal about how far away it is or flared up or whatever. It's going to take a good old guesstimate. You're right, I have to measure this thing. Hold on. Couldn't well just leave it alone, could I? Nope. All right. I wanted to make sure this thing is squared up, otherwise it just looks like shit. I'm not going to love it. Okay, so from the fence to here, let's call that 72 inches or so. I mean, I'm not looking for, actually, if I wasn't looking for exact, that'd have been okay. There's 72. So if the other side's 72, we're in the money. That's assuming, of course, that this fence is square, which who the hell knows if it is or not. There. Come on, damn thing, I'm on camera. Of course I'm on camera, you know? It always messes up when you're trying to do stuff. God damn it, just chill out. Yeah. That's close enough. I'm fine with that. It's off by an inch, but if you look at this thing long enough, you're gonna go out of your mind looking at it. Maybe, at least I am. I don't know about you guys, but that's what's up. So next thing we gotta do is we need to get a couple things. One we're gonna get is some hardware mesh. Hardware mesh will prevent any little critters from digging up underneath our raised beds and getting at any of our goods, which is kind of the whole point of a raised bed anyway. And it looks something like this. All right, the next step we're gonna do here is we now have it in place. We now need to level the damn thing. So in order to level this thing, we need to first drive it down into the ground, because remember, some parts are higher than lower than others, but if we were to drive this thing as close as we can to the ground, we're gonna have less of the dirt kind of being in the weird kind of space and more here. So if you need to, dig out a little bit just to get it so that way we can get level with the lowest place on the bed. So let's go ahead and do that now. Also, use a wood block when banging in, and hit the 2x4. Don't hit any of the rest of the part, otherwise you're gonna ruin it. So, you know. Well, our bed's in, but the reason you use that block when you're banging in this is because look what happens to the 2x4 after you get done banging it in. This is better than it happening to your nice new bed. Okay, so we now have our bed pretty much taken care of. You're gonna need this. This is called hardware cloth. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be wearing this yourself, but it is gonna protect the bottom of your raised bed from any little bastards that are gonna go out there and try to dig in. So in order to lay this stuff, first thing I do, just cut it out. You know, it's gonna be wrapped with a bunch of wire. There we go. Just gotta take our little wire snips, which you're gonna need, or just find the edge. Oh, I found it. Good. All right. Yep. Yeah, sometimes this stuff wants to be a pain in the balls. That's fine. Let it be a pain. There we go. Ooh, be careful, because this stuff is under a little bit of load, and when you release it, it will have a tendency to kind of not explode on you, but certainly move with a little force. There we go. Snip that guy off. No problem. Okay, good deal. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we are going to lay it. What I'm going to do is lay it like this along the inside and scoot it up a little bit. Then with your staple gun, make sure to use one of these. This will make life a million times easier. Just staple the wires into place. I would suggest wearing safety gloves when you do this, because you're working with wire, and usually working with wire has a tendency to suck if you get hit. So let's go ahead and finish this whole side or whole bottom in the hardware cloth. All right, now that our hardware cloth is in, we shouldn't have too many issues with little furry critters coming in. And are you using a level as a cell phone, Kai? Is that what you're doing? Come on, you can use the level as a cell phone. It's kind of cute. Anyway, so we're gonna put down this stuff, which is landscaper's cloth. Landscaper's cloth will not only keep a lot of the stuff that's already in the ground kind of away from our beautiful beds, but it will act as another little kind of barrier to keep stuff out of our garden. So all you're gonna do is just, same thing with that stapler, just tack the crap out of this thing out, and then we'll just go on from there. Then we start mixing dirt. All right, now that the bed is taken care of, we have the landscaping fabric in there, we have the hardware wire. Now we gotta get down to the nuts of the thing, which is putting some dirt in this thing. What do you put in there? Do you just put dirt? Wouldn't suggest it unless you got some really spectacular dirt around you, but in my case, I found some condoms and broken glass in mine, so I'm assuming probably gonna need some different dirt. So what I got here are different types I'm gonna blend in to make a nice dirt. Now, it's not gonna be, I guess not soil, from what some people say, but I don't really care. All I know is all this stuff is organic, so I don't have to worry about any kind of funk, because I would like nice organic vegetables, which is kind of the point, so use all organic stuff. So, starting over here, these guys is 3 cubic feet of dirt, well, it's soil. Organic, and nice part is it was pretty cheap. It was only $2.50 per cubic foot. So it was about $8 a piece, $7.50 a piece at Home Depot. We got 3 of these guys, to be 9. 2 of these, which is actual cow crap, so cow manure. Got 2 of those, so that's 2 square feet there. So I got myself 11 cubic feet so far. This guy right here is just a general purpose blend for planting mix. Mostly people use these sometimes in large containers where they need a little bit more, but I figured I wanted to augment my mix here with just like one of these guys. So that puts this up to about 13.5. This is 2 cubic feet worth of what's called amend. Basically, it just adds a lot more fertilizers and nutrients to the soil. And it doesn't really hurt anything to add, and it will add, lets there be quite a bit of variety being added to really augment the rest of this setup. So this should be enough to give me about a foot of soil in the bed there. And if it's not, then we go get another couple of these guys because they're cheap. So let's go ahead and time lapse yet again. There we go. All right, and that's mission accomplished, guys. We do have now a 3 by 6 foot raised bed. I got about maybe 8-9 inches worth of, about 10 inches of dirt in there. So might get a couple more bags before we actually plant stuff, but sometimes you just never know the dimensions until after you crack open the bags and see how you did. And I was a little short, but it's all good. Anyway, little bee action, holy shit. Me and Mr. Game Coach X Jr. wish you guys a happy Father's Day, and why don't we go see if we can surprise Mrs. Gaming Coach X? Just a sec. Hey, honey bun, could you come here? Look what I made you. Are you a happy girl?
Yeah.
Very good. Now you can put all of your precious flowers and stuff. So, happy Father's Day, babe. Okay, in here. We'll have Kai stamp it down. Yeah. All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.